Okay, so this is my sister, and I'm gonna show you now how her posture affects her pelvic floor and her bladder. Okay, so when you look at her from a distance, you will see that she is slightly leaning forward. In other words, she's kind of like hanging into her hips. Okay, so instead of being parallel to the floor, she's more leaning forward. Okay, can you see that? Just slightly. Okay, then I can see right away on her belly, this is loose, and it's not just belly fat. Okay, I can see that her TAs, her transversus abdominis, is loose. Okay, and I can see that also if you put your hands up like here, her upper abs are fighting hard to maintain some support for her spine. Okay, so she's gripping with her upper abs a little bit, which creates this downward pressure on the bladder. So it's kind of like looks like this. It goes out, the pressure goes out and down. Okay. So instead, what I would want it to see is more like a flatter appearance. Even if she's standing kind of loose, even if we stand, our abs need to work a little bit to provide stability for the spine. Okay, so they need to always work just a little bit. Now, when we pick up something heavy, a grocery bag, or we reach overhead in an airplane to put a carry-on, you reach for a cup. The abs need to work a little harder, and the abdominal contraction has to match the load. And so your abs should contract equally, right? So we should see an equal contraction from the bottom to the top. So if I give her now a little weight, and I'm going to give her a light weight. So this is about 1 pound. Can you hold it and just like breathe, like do a press up? You're reaching over, okay? So you see, if you just move yourself over here, do you see this definition over here? That's her upper abs, okay? And there's a 0 here. So I would want more here, and she's trying hard. See, she now will let go. Yes, this would be like totally like no contraction. And if you now try to press, so see, this is more, but I want more here and less upper here. Okay, thank you. Just relax. Okay. So that's kind of how I see, just from a posture, what's going on in the body. And then I always look at the glutes. Like when I see someone's leaning forward, I look at their abs and I look at their glutes. Okay. And their sacrum. She has a flat butt. She has no glutes. Okay. Her glutes are deactivated. They are not working. There's no rounding here. There should be a little rounding. So I also know that her sacrum is smashed. Her sacrum is smashed here. So it should be more, go a little more like this. Okay. So that has a direct impact on the pelvic floor because it's smooshing, and the bladder, because it's kind of smooshing everything together. Okay. And so here's those pressure downward. That's what's called bearing down, right? Because her abs are not working. And there's pressure from this side as well, because her sacrum is smooshed. This is smooshing here. It's like there's some compression, and I can see that also here. She's having some glute clenching. She's clenching just subconsciously here, and why we do that, and especially when she does that, she does that a lot. You just stand to talk with someone. You stand, you're doing the dishes, you're standing in a line in the grocery store, and in order to get some stability, she subconsciously overlocks her knees and leans forward, and that gives her body some stability. So it's like a compensation pattern for her. Okay. So I need to slap a lot more glutes on her, okay? But before that, we need to fix her TAs, okay? So the TAs, they stabilize the pelvis, because if we don't do that and we work on the glutes first, she's going to use her low back for like doing squats and hip hinges like deadlifts and so on, okay? So this is what I see so far, and then we can see this rounding here, and you can see this bump. How many of you have seen this bump, or you have this bump? So this is a symptom. It's not a cause. The root cause comes from here. And it says there's no support from here to here. There's zero support from the spine. Her abs are off, her glutes are off. And so her upper body is working super hard now to provide some integrity for the spine so she doesn't completely, totally collapse. And so her low back is overworking because her abs are deactivated. Okay, so this is whatever's happening here in the front has direct impact on the back. Okay, so if abs are not providing any support for the spine, something has to, and it's gonna be the back muscles. And these back muscles, they're gonna pull on her diaphragm and on her back and shorten. This is the creation of low back pain or back pain. Her abs are now tight. Her back muscles are tight. And when they are tight, it's gonna be like really difficult to turn them off, right? So they're gonna be now overactive. Whatever she does now, the back will be the first to activate, okay? And so now when basically these muscles contract, they force you to kind of go like this. So force the pelvis forward, they tilt the pelvis, or they pull the pelvis in an anterior tilt, kind of like this, and make her go, make this bump and go just her chin forward, okay? Forward headed posture, okay? This is a body that is not in balance and hasn't everything come together, and there's an impact on the pelvic floor because she cannot now breathe right. She cannot breathe into her back because these muscle pull on the diaphragm. So her diaphragm cannot expand. She cannot get a good back expansion, like a balloon. When we breathe in, we should breathe like a balloon. The ribcage should expand like a balloon, but this is super tight. She can't expand here. When she breathes, I can feel just a tiny bit because her abs are also pulling her forward. Like you have organs here, and there's zero support for the organs to keep them in. Okay, and so it all creates pressure on the bladder and on the pelvic floor that can cause leaking, prolapse. There's lots of pressure down. There's a lot of laxity. Or it can also cause some tightness. Okay, so she is definitely this region here is tight. Okay, this region here is tight. And so these muscles also attach to the pelvic floor right here, right? So her back pelvic floor is tight, but her front, because this is the front, the abs attached to the front pelvic floor is weak. Okay, so we have this imbalance. So it's not just you have a tight pelvic floor, you just have a weak pelvic floor, and that's why you have prolapse or you leak when you jump. It can be also a combination. So you can see it can get quite complex, but the good news is from a posture analysis, I haven't even, I asked her to do one movement. I can see all this. So I can do a posture analysis for you, and we'll go from them like, okay, well, this is how it is. These are your imperfections, imbalances. You probably need to do this. This will be your strategy.